Big news. I will have some information regarding a make along in the middle of this video. So you can make sure you either wait until you get to that part or jump into that part by hitting the time mark to the Pride Pod Mall. Again, it is the Pride Pod for the podcast Mall Make Along, Pride Pod Mall. Make sure you wait until you get there or jump directly there. See you!
Warning, never look at the sun without special eye protection. When viewing the eclipse, use eclipse glasses at all times when any part of the sun is visible. Direct viewing of the sun can cause permanent damage if the proper precautions are not taken. Adequate eye protection, specifically designed for viewing the sun, is essential and should be worn so that no harmful rays from the sun can reach the eye.
Today is April 7 and the eclipse is April 8, 2024, which is Monday. Get a good, correct protection for that. All right, let's start the show. Welcome and welcome back. This is it. I finally finished the Vika pullover of Brooklyn Tweets collection or Brooklyn Tweet collection that I made. So I started this, I remember it was February 14 because I went to Athens, Greece for a vacation. And I remember I left New Jersey on the 13th and I cast on the sweater when I was waiting for the plane. So it was the flight. So it was a red eye. So I finished my work. I think that was a Wednesday. And then I went to the airport at 6 and then I got into the gate at 7 and I think the flight was at 10. So I had 3 hours to cast on and I remember exactly, casting on. I don't think I even fully or properly gauge. I think I did gauge the night before, but basically just to choose which needles I want to bring to the trip. But anyway, so I was really not sure if it will work, but it actually turned out well. I forgot to mention who I am, so here we are. Welcome and welcome back. I am Stephanus, and this is Be Extra, a knitting podcast. Be Extra is where we celebrate everyone's creativity and just to support everyone not to be afraid of starting something new that might not be at something that you have done before, or maybe you don't have the skill set yet in knitting or any fiber work. If you try a new technique, what you will do is you either will succeed and you will have a new skill, or you will fail for that time, but you know what you need to work on. There's always a next step that you will get to by just trying it. So I really support people trying something new, but definitely something that you will enjoy at the end. So if this is, I love that whatever sweater, but it looks so complicated and I've never done sticking or something, do it. Start sticking on, I don't know, a circular, stockinette that you can stick and use it for your, I don't know, washcloth or something. So that's what it is. But not be arrogant. Yeah, so I initially, right away, I guess I'm too excited about finishing this. And I will, throughout this video, I will play some pictures that I took on this. So basically, I finished. So last episode, last episode, I mentioned that I would finish the front part by that weekend, which is 2 weeks ago, and then I would start with the sleeves, and then putting it all together, because this one, so the fika pullover, if you look at the pattern, it is worked in pieces. So basically it starts with the back, and then you start with the front side, and then the sleeves. So I worked 2 sleeves at a time because it's flat anyway. So I have 2 new ball of the yarn that I use, and then just cast on 2 sleeves in one. I don't know how long the cable. It's not that important, but I just make sure that it's enough for the 2 sleeves, like the widest part of the sleeves. Yeah, so a couple of things. It's really nice. This is my first time working with Legason Max khakis, or British DK Max khakis. I think I've talked about this in multiple previous episodes. To me, it looks like really on the thin side of a DK. I mean, I could work it as a sport weight, meaning it's good because if you want a sweater that is not too thick but it calls for a DK, go for this. I mean, if this is at the price range for your project, and for me, it is, a splurge. I have to admit, it is a splurge buy, but I acquired this during my birthday last year in December, along with this one. But this one, I got the yarn during last Wool and Folk in October. So in October, I got this yarn, which is Flora Adora fiber, and this is naturally dyed. And then when I had my actual birthday in December, I got this. And what else? So so in pieces, and at the end you have to sew them together, and I just use mattress stitch to sew them together. And once you sew them, you have to pick up this neckline, the back and the front, because the ribbing is worked at the end. So I picked up the number that it was suggested, and the only or one of the modifications that I did here, this is meant to go long ribbing for the neck, because it will be folded out. But I don't want the look of the folded neck, just because I think I don't have, a long neck to start with. So if something can just lay flat, and then if I wear something like this today, like a button-up shirt, I can still have that nice color picking out of the sweater, giving that preppy look. And that's how I intend to wear this anyway. Something, button-up shirt underneath, and then have that as the outer layer. So yeah, so I picked up, so instead of so I decrease in half the total final length of the ribbing, so that I don't have to fold it out. and then at the end it's a tubular cast off, and it's beautiful cast off. It's my first time, again, be extra, it's my first time using the tubular cast off, and it I thought the tubular, because it says, the pattern says use the suggested tubular cast off, or if you don't want to use it, use something that is stretchy. So I thought it will be so stretchy that it will not hold the shape, but it does. It holds the shape, and I am so surprised. The length of this ribbing fits perfectly for my neck circumference when I wear this button-up shirt. And for the, isn't it amazing, the sleeve, you also use the same pattern that is on the body, on the sleeves. It's just that the moss stitch area is significantly decreased, just how it is. And also there's only one repeat of this pattern on the sleeve on each side. But everything else, once you establish the cable, so you start with the bottom, right? And then you start with however many inch of the ribbing in the bottom, and then right away it tells you to set the cable. Once you set the cable, and once you do one repeat of this, basically, so from here to here, what I found is it's so intuitive afterwards. So if you don't want to go back to your pattern, you can just read, your established pattern as you go along. And so you go up, and then when you hit the sleeve, under the bottom part of this sleeve here, it should start to decrease for real quickly, and then start to increase again for the body. Start to increase, and then you see this. So it really is a drop shoulder. So the body part goes all the way up here. You see how this increase all the way up to here, and so that it really falls off your shoulder, just the body part. And then the sleeves, or you start from the ribbing or go up. So you work until however many inches it is suggested for your size. And at the end, I just trust the pattern design. I don't know if you have followed this channel. You can tell I do a lot of making my own stuff. Like, I don't want to say design, but I like to be creative in making garment. So like for this, I did not follow any pattern. I just like to make an off-center type of cable. So that's what I have here. But and also you can go back to the previous episode. You see how it's off-center. Maybe some people would not like that, because I rarely, maybe never, see any asymmetrical pattern or cable sweater pattern. Like, it's always like it has to be centered correctly, and make sure your stitch numbers are correct. But what I wanted with this was a different style. But what I'm saying is, when I was working on this, I trusted the pattern, so that because one thing is, it was pieces, right? So you cannot really try it on as you go. This one I made top down, one of those top down sweaters that you can try on as you go. And it's also nice when you just make stuff up for the first time. So if you do it top down, it's nice because as you go, you can update your design. But this one, I have no idea. I followed the pattern. Beautiful suggestion there, with all the numbers depending on your size. So I use this tells you to have some amount of positive ease, because the look that it suggests, the designer suggests is to be a little bit roomy, so it's not really tight fitting. So I chose the size, I think 54, basically second size from the last, the second biggest size basically. So if you can think about it, second biggest size of a pattern, and it's all over cabled, and then it's actually it's written for worsted, but when I bought the yarn, I was thinking, okay, if it is DK, because it is called British DK, if it is DK, maybe I will hold with something else to make it worsted, or I can just work, change my needle, and then, but I find it a little bit, thinner, so, I don't know. I definitely update the needle that I need to use, because when I try to use, anyway, one needle that I tried right away, it gives really open stitches that I don't really like the garment at the end. I guess I did. I guess I did do gauge, but I remember I did not do like extended gauge or wash it or whatever. I just wanted to see, okay, with that size of cable, this is the garment, and do I like it? So at that time I was just okay. I finally found the correct size. So. What else? So the sleeves from bottom up, and so the only thing I modified, I guess, is the length of the collar. So I love the yarn. It is not too hot, because again, on the thinner side, and as soon as I wore it yesterday, I finished it yesterday. By the way, I haven't blocked it, so and what I do usually, I leave a long tail before I wove it, the tails in, but not really completely permanently wove them in. Basically, I can still weave more in, but I want to block it, and then I want to make sure but I don't think I need to stretch a lot, but I just want to make sure it doesn't change size extremely. This is non-superwash, and I love to make garment. This is non-superwash also with non-superwash, because I have made. So this is one one tip that I can share with knitters. I wish I knew when I started. For non-superwash yarn, it will stretch, because the yarn has been treated so that it is less toothy. You know how like you superwash, their selling point is, you can wash it, you can throw it in the washing machine, and also it's usually much softer, but that feeling of soft is because they have treated it so it's less toothy, so it doesn't grip that as much as the non-superwash, so that it might stretch as you wear or with time. But this guy, I wash it once, so I finished it December for my birthday, because that's what I call it, the birthday sweater. It has never changed, or it never it did not stretch with time. So again, I love with non-superwash. So yeah, that's pretty much. So what happened? So I Yeah, so I did not block, even though the pattern mentioned that you block it before you start sewing it together. And then at the end, you can block it again if you want to. I guess, if you want to clean it again, you block it, right? So that's it. So I have shown the picture or some pictures throughout this video, but I can also show how it is. So here it is. You see how it's beautiful. It's really nice. And this cable pattern is really, I guess, how do I say it? Classy. It's not too crowded. It's not too, yeah. But again, that's how it is. Moss stitch, cable, 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 cable big, cable, 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 sleeve, same again, cable, cable big, cable, and it's long enough for the sleeve if I want to do something like this. Also, I took a picture of me wearing, because if I want to do it, really long, like I was like, can I put my, yeah, I could, I like that. So that's it. So done with that. Oh, did it move? Maybe not. So that's my finished object. As a reminder, I am a monogamous knitter, so I have nothing else that I'm working on right now. But before I continue, I would like to announce. So before we go to future work, I would like to announce a make-along. So here we are. I should have mentioned it in the beginning, but maybe I will place something in the beginning for people to stay until or search the part where I talk about this. So Gary writes wrote me yesterday, or no, last week, saying that he and Peggy from Spinning on Two Wheels, they came up with this idea to make or to host a make-along, and the make-along is titled Pride Pod Make-along. So the idea here is that it is a low-key make-along that will be run during June of this year, so June of 2024. And the idea here is to spread the word about LGBTQIA plus podcasters and to promote the work of queer designers, dyers, and makers. So they started a Ravelry group titled Pride Pod Mall. So Pride, PODMAL. So I'll place it here. If you want to learn more, go ahead and go to the group in the Ravelry. So the idea basically is for them to get as many podcasters as possible to be involved in this. And from now until June, us podcasters will talk about this make-along that will happen in June. And we also are, we can also host our own interview with the queer designers or queer dyers or makers. leading up to June. So I will schedule some, in my future episodes, I might invite some queer designers or dyers or makers to come to the channel, and I will interview them, and it could either be in person or like a Zoom recorded Zoom meetings type of interview. So leading up to June, the podcasters will get the words out by doing, we can have an interview or some interviews, and also for the channel, for this Be Extra channel, at the end of the make along, I decided to have giveaways, and the information more information will follow, but definitely there will be a giveaway at the end of the make along from Be Extra Knitting, from Be Extra to the audience of Be Extra Knitting. So stay tuned. I will figure out the everything about it, and then I will share it in future episodes. And now, when the month of June comes along, the folks can participate in the make along by making something using pattern or products from LGBTQIA plus makers, and you post it in the Ravelry group. So again, that is the Pride Pod Mall, Pride PODMAL, and then also you can use the hashtag Pride Pod Mall. And at the end of the month, as I mentioned, I will do giveaways for the Be Extra Knitting channel, but there are multiple other podcasters. So if you go to the Ravelry group, you will be able to see who are in the podcasters and who are in the the dyer designers makers group. So yeah, so that's what's happening. I will continue talking about it. Pride Pot Mall, hashtag Pride Pot Mall, and I'll give more information, detailed information about the price at the end, and also going to June, who I will be interviewing or inviting from the LGBTQIA plus designer makers, dyers. Now, on top of that, if any of you are in the community, LGBTQIA community, and you would like me to invite you for an interview on this channel before June, let me know. Comment, please leave a comment in the comment section of this episode video, and just let me know what you think, like if you want to introduce yourself, and you can also let me know what you would like to discuss when we have the interview, so we can, it's not a rigid discussion or interview. We can highlight who you are, what you are doing in terms of your fiber arts, or whatever it is that you're supporting or enjoy, and yeah, I will publish it in future episodes. I think that's nice because we can continue growing the community or supporting the community with that, because I find that having, or just knowing people out there that have the same background, have gone to the same experience as you, it's nice to get that sense of belonging and support. I guess I would like to thank Gary Gary Writes, Gary Knits. So that's his Instagram. To start this, and I'm happy to plug in or participate in. So yeah, again, it is Pride Pot Make Along, MAL, in Ravelry, and Gary's Instagram is Gary Writes, Gary Knits. I will also place the information on this part of the channel. So that's the news. Now, one more thing. What am I gonna work on? So there's a reason why I placed this on the display. By the way, every time I put this on the display, I have to cinch it in because I have a female presenting form. And I should buy a male presenting form so that I can actually just let it, go or not shape it. But this is actually for my body. But just to make it more presentable on this form, I just cinch it in. But my next project is to make a sweater for my nephew. So my nephew is going to be having his first communion in May. And I decided to make a sweater just like this. So I call it the birthday sweater, basically. You see how, so instead of moss stitch, this is seed stitch. So the difference is, for moss stitch, you do 2 rows or 4 rows repeat. So basically 2 rows, you do knit purl on the same position, and then the next 2 row you switch the knit into purl into knit. So for the next 2 rows, so there are 4. But this one is seed stitch, is just every row you switch the knit and the purl. So it's knit purl, but then the next one is going to be purl knit. I mean, if you work in a row, you know what I'm saying. I mean, in a round, but right, because this is work in the round. So if I start with knit purl, the next round it will be purl knit, and then the next round go back to knit purl, and the next round purl knit. So that's seed stitch, and then this is just 2x2 cable, and then this part I just want a traveling cable. But in here it's just a stockinette, and then nothing on the arm, but I added a leather patches. I actually need to figure out how to clean a sweater that has a leather patch. I need to go back to the not instruction, but the product, what do you call this? The ban of this leather patch, and see if I can go to their company and look for instruction, care for instruction. My God, instruction for care. Can, I don't know, because it is a real leather. So, yeah. So basically, I need to wash this. But for my nephew, I picked up this yarn. This is Homestead Tweed. This is by Plymouth Yarn Company. 90% wool and 10% Donegal, and it's approximately 194 yards for 100 grams. This is definitely worth it. So this is DK Flora Adora fiber. So I want, yeah, so I will update the design by going to worsted. So basic, and also the size. He's 11 years old, so or 12. So definitely it's much smaller than me, which is good, meaning that I can finish it so fast because the cable is only that this much on the front and the back and nothing on the sleeve, and then this is top down. One thing I want to do is not do the ribbing, so maybe like right away start from here down, and then at the end I pick it up. So maybe I do professional cast on and then pick it up at the end and then see how far I need to go. Maybe I don't bind it off on the neck. So I will go to California in May for vacation to celebrate the, his, what do you call, first communion. So we will have dinner, and maybe when I get there, so I'll get there on a Friday, and then the dinner celebration is Saturday. Maybe when I get there, I can have him try on and bind off, because bind off is not that, it won't take that long, and I don't care if I don't block it, because even steam, what do you call, like wet blocking, not wet blocking, like steam blocking it should be fine, or clean it right after, so maybe he'll wear it in the future. But the color here is, you're getting the right color, so I get a good set of light for this, and I'm loving it because all the colors are all coming out really nicely. So this is the color, so there's tweed in it. I wanted like an oatmeal kind of color, but they don't have it in stock. They have the right amount. There's 6 of skeins from the same lot number. So I think for his size, I need maybe 1100 yards. So, and I got 1200 yards in total, so I should be okay. Even if it's cable, it's not a lot of cable here, so it's not gonna require too much yarn, or more than 6 skeins of worsted. And I like how it feels. I've never worked with this. This is my first time working with the Plymouth yarn. Is it Plymouth again? Plymouth yarn Homestead Tweed. This is non-superwash also, so I will tell my sister it's non-superwash. So, I mean, this is his first communion, so he's big enough to take care of stuff if I explain, set the expectation kind of thing. So that's my next one. I was going to do the, what do you call, the gauge before I start this recording, but this week has been, I don't want to take too much time, but there's so many things happen. And today I've been waiting for a delivery for the whole day. They mentioned it's one of those delivery that they said, they will confirm the day before to give you the 2 hours time window, but they did not confirm. And I kept waiting. I did not leave the house just to see if, just to make sure I don't, miss them. But then I waited until 2 p.m. Right now it's almost 5. So that's why I'm using artificial light, even though there's still light outside. But anyway, they call me 10 minutes before they arrive instead of 2 hours time window. So on top of that, they did not have enough people so I bought a new mattress, and I want, like a firm mattress instead of the current one, that is a foam mattress. The foam does not spring back up, so I want a firm mattress. I got a firm mattress. They deliver it. They attempted the deliver, and then it should go to the second floor, but they mentioned that because it's firm, they don't want to band it, which is interesting because, I mean, it's made to be banned, the mattress, because there's like a base that you can bend the leg part and the top part, so it's made to be bent. And I don't know, I think the delivery guys, they just don't want to get in trouble, I guess, because it is on the high end of a mattress. I've never had this problem before. I did invest on this mattress. I said to myself, okay, I need to invest on a mattress, so I got that. But before, when I bought mattress, I just bought any mattress, and my bed is a king. And I never had any issue with people delivering it to the second floor, and this one, they did not even want to even touch. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I talked to the store, and they said they'll send another person another time, or enough people. I guess, I don't know. I'm just waiting for that bed to be delivered. What I'm trying to say is today has been so much waiting. I wish it was a better communication, but hey, at least it's a Sunday. At least I don't have to take a day off from work. So, and a good thing is, from all this, is I started cleaning my house. So my house is pretty clean. I mean, comparable compared to the previous state of the house. So I cleaned my bedroom, my guest room, my everything. I had time because I was waiting, and I'm like, all right, let me wait and clean more and wait more. So, but I hope I will get the bed soon, because anyway, so tomorrow is Monday. In the beginning, I mentioned about eye protection. So if you're going to look at the eclipse, make sure you get the right protection. Check if it is the solar eclipse, looking at the solar type of protection, and make sure you know the limit, time limit to wear it. This one says 3 minutes, but I don't know if it will be recalibrated for another material. I know some people are traveling to different location to catch this, and that sounds so fun. If you do, take some pictures, because it's a nice, travel to a place where you will get 100% eclipse. I guess I have to specify that. And hopefully the weather where you're going is going to be nice, so you get to experience it. Where we are on Monday, which is my workplace, I think it's about 80%, which is nice. And there will be a group of people that will go out and experience it during the eclipse. So maybe next episode I can also talk about the eclipse and how it is. Oh, one thing also happened. Yeah, this week it's a lot. It's been a long week. So Friday, so I'm in New Jersey, close to New York. we had a 4.8 Richter scale earthquake about 5 kilometers from my house. And also, yeah, well, I was at work and I was outside, and so I did not really feel it, but we were just, standing outside for a while until we get a clearance to go back that everything is okay. I remember when I was living in California. Sorry, I don't have anything to work on like knit while I talk. That's why I keep moving my hand. I don't know if you can. Well, you cannot see it, but I've been putting it in different positions just because I don't have anything to work on. I wish. But again, I mentioned that I did not start my gauge or my next project just because I've been doing a lot of waiting and cleaning. Anyway, where was I? Yes. Oh, when I was in California, when I lived in Berkeley, for my postdoc, I remember, waking up to a 5 point something scale earthquake multiple times. And I still remember 5 was pretty strong. I was thinking, was there a train underneath my bed? And I was like half asleep, and then I woke up. I was like, wow, it was an earthquake. So I make sure I was safe. And also there was one time, I used to work in the Berkeley National Laboratory in the Advanced Light Source synchrotron source, working on one of the beamline there. And I remember whenever there's earthquake, it will shut down the beam source. So it's basically, we use X-ray source to characterize material. And then, if you don't feel a lot of vibration, you might think that, something, one of your valve malfunctions, or your pressure went up too high so that it shut down the synchrotron. But then a lot of time, you will look at the source, the display of the whole synchrotron source, like there's no photon counts, and that's when something happened, like a earthquake. Okay, take a break, or make yourself safe and stuff like that. But there definitely was a lot more earthquake when I was in California. But it was interesting to have an earthquake in Jersey or East Coast. I think I also lived in Long Island at some point, and that's when there was a earthquake close to DC that cracked the monument. I don't know if people remember that, but we felt it all the way to Long Island, close to Ronkonkoma. if you know where Ronkonkoma is in Long Island. It was also a national laboratory in Long Island. So there was that earthquake, and hopefully, how are you doing? If you're in the East Coast, hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you're safe. And continue to create. I guess that's it. It's almost an hour. I definitely don't want to make it any longer. I think I already covered everything. So until then, be extra, be proud, be brave of what you're working on. Take that next challenge to bring your skills up, or continue where you are. Make whatever you want to make and whatever you want to wear, or if you're going to give it to anyone, just enjoy it. Hopefully you find this art to be helpful or relaxing for you, or for your creativity to be channeled, or for you to be creative. My God, what type of sentence was that? I don't know. I guess that's it. All right. Well, I will see you in 2 weeks. And until then, be extra. Bye.